Hey guys, it's your girl Chels, and today we are going to be talking about 7 years worth of trading psychology. So, I've been trading for 7 years now, and in this video, I'm going to share everything I've learned about trading psychology over the past 7 years. Because here's the thing, guys, I spent 2.5 years losing money before I figured out what was actually holding me back. It wasn't my strategy. It wasn't any indicators. It was literally all in my head. These were the lies that I actually believed. A lot of people think that the perfect strategy equals your success in trading. And honestly, that is not always true because you could have the same 5 people using a strategy and it's not going to work for all 5 people. And so that's what this journey is, being able to understand yourself and finding out what works for you. A lot of traders also think that buying courses, a ton of courses, and strategy hopping and learning ICT, supply and demand, is going to make them successful, but that's really not the case. You could literally have the best strategy in the world, but the strategy is not the problem. Okay, the problem is you. It's you being in your head, and that is something that you're gonna learn on your journey. You're gonna learn at the end of the day, it is really you that makes a strategy work. And I know a lot of seasoned traders out there know that trading is 80 to 90% mental. It absolutely is. So let's actually be honest here for a second, okay? The technicals, reading a chart, marking up a chart, that is not hard at all. That's actually one of the easiest things to do when it comes to trading. Now, managing your emotions, controlling your risk, being disciplined, and not revenge trading, that's the actual hard thing to do. And that is exactly what separates the 90% from the 10% that actually do succeed. A really big key turning point for me when it came to trading psychology was also defining what winning meant to me, because winning can be different for every individual trader. It's different across the board. I used to think that winning equals making money, and that was a win. But I realized that I was only stressing myself out, focused on the money. Now I defined it to winning is actually executing my plan, regardless if the outcome comes to a win or a loss. At the end of the day, if I executed my plan the way I intended to, then that is a win across the board. And I want a lot of you to remember that just because you win a trade, if you did not follow your plan, that's actually worse than taking a loss that did follow your plan, right? Because you are being disciplined to what you're sticking to versus you not managing your emotions correctly and just executing off of pure emotion. Another key thing that really helped me was detaching from outcomes altogether. Everyone is always so focused on win rate, but win rate does not matter. Your win rate could be 60% losses and you could still come out profitable. It's literally just how you manage your risk. And it's also remembering that your edge, your true edge, and how you look at the market, your strategy, everything that comes into play, it plays out over 100+ trades. That's the best way to look at it. Instead of looking at trades on a trade by trade basis, me detaching from the outcomes also helped me with understanding that any loss that I did take was just data. It was data for me to study, to go back on and see why I lost those trades. And eventually, you're going to see a pattern of why you take those losers. And once you adjust that, you'll be on the right path to fixing what you need to fix in that moment. Another hard truth about trading as well is if you are not disciplined in your real life, please do not expect to be disciplined on the chart. You're someone that is lazy outside of trading. You're not disciplined at all with maybe eating healthy or any goals that you have outside of trading, whether that's going to the gym, like I said, eating healthy, or just staying disciplined to your studies. If you are going to school, you're trying to pursue something outside, or you're doing something else, then it's not going to translate into trading. If you're lazy on the outside and you're not putting in the work that you should for any goals that you have and you want to pursue outside of trading, please do not expect that you're going to get that same result in trading, because you have to put in the work in order to get the results. Another key thing for me that I feel has always helped me, and what a lot of traders do struggle with, is predefining your risk on everything. Actually, not just your risk, but predefining literally everything. Predefining on when you're getting out, your risk management, your trade management rules, things like that. Because sometimes the market volatility can move so crazy that when you're in a trade, you might freeze up and not know what to do. And that's why it's so great to have a set plan, because if these unexpected things happen in the market that you're not anticipating, you want to still be able to react to them. And if you can't react to them in the moment with just mental skills, it's best to have something set in place that you wrote down ahead of time, that you don't need to panic and you just follow that, and is strictly robotic. And that can also go for whenever you see your setup, right? A lot of people hesitate on taking certain trades if they do see their setup, because the setup might look a little bit risky, or they might not just feel confident in that setup. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that even though you feel confident, or even though you don't feel confident in a trade, but you see the setup that you're looking for, just take it anyways, because you never know which trade is going to be the winner and which trade is going to be the loser. So instead of debating, just execute whenever you see that setup happening. And the biggest thing that has helped me with trading psychology is finding your perfect fit. Okay. For me at the time, Asian session was the perfect fit for me, just dependent on my lifestyle. My job at the time, my 9 to 5, I was not able to trade New York. I was not able to trade London, and Asian session was the best session for me to trade. And so I stuck with that, and it's worked out for me. So you really have to know yourself as a trader, know yourself and your schedule outside of trading as well. And that can translate to better results overall, because you have the time and commitment to put towards your busy schedule, whatever that may look like. And for me, that was trading the Asian session. And since then, once I found my perfect fit, I was able to be a lot more consistent with that. And if you want to keep learning, I post free trade breakdowns and resources in my Discord. Link in the description to join for free.